take a deep breath. Feel the rise and fall of your chest as the breath moves through you, quietly, effortlessly. Notice how even the breath itself reminds you of the truth, that life does not need to be controlled. It happens naturally, in perfect rhythm. In this moment, as you sit in stillness, begin to let go of the tension that comes from trying to control what cannot be controlled. The mind, in its endless desire for certainty, clings to plans, outcomes, and expectations. But the more tightly we hold on, the more we lose our connection to the flow of life. So much of our suffering begins with this simple misunderstanding that peace will come when everything finally goes according to our plans. But life has its own intelligence, far greater than anything the mind can design. When you release the need to control, you do not lose power, you reclaim it. Because true power does not come from forcing, it comes from allowing. It arises when you align yourself with the natural order of things rather than struggling against it. Notice now if there is something in your life you've been holding on to. A situation, a person, a memory, a desire for things to be different. Feel the weight of that holding. It sits heavy in the chest, tight in the stomach, restless in the mind. As you breathe in, acknowledge it without judgment. As you exhale, imagine that weight softening, dissolving, melting into the breath. You don't need to push it away, simply allow it to loosen its grip. The act of letting go begins with the willingness to no longer fight with what is. Control is the mind's attempt to protect you from uncertainty. It believes that if it can just manage every detail, it can prevent pain, disappointment, or loss. But the truth is, life was never meant to be perfectly managed. It was meant to be experienced, felt, lived fully. The unknown is not your enemy, it is the birthplace of possibility. When you release control, you invite the universe to surprise you, to bring outcomes that are often better, wiser, and more aligned than anything you could have planned. Let the breath guide you deeper into this realization. Every inhalation brings openness. Every exhalation brings surrender. Feel how good it is to stop trying, to stop fixing, to stop chasing. Feel what it's like to just be here, as you are, where you are, without needing to control anything. This is the beginning of trust. It is in this space of surrender that peace begins to rise, quietly, like the dawn after a long night. The need to control is born from fear, fear of loss, fear of uncertainty, fear of not being enough. But fear cannot exist in the presence of awareness. When you bring light to it, fear loses its power. When you observe your desire to control, without judgment, you begin to see it for what it is. A pattern, a habit, a way of seeking safety. And in that seeing, it begins to dissolve. You realize that you don't have to control life to feel safe. You are already safe in the arms of something infinite and intelligent, something that has carried you through every moment up to this one. Take another deep breath, and as you do, silently remind yourself, I do not need to control everything to be at peace. Feel the truth of those words. The tree does not control the wind, yet it bends and sways with grace. The river does not resist the rocks in its path, yet it finds its way to the ocean. Life moves effortlessly through everything that allows itself to flow. You, too, are meant to flow. When you stop trying to control, what remains is presence. And in presence, there is clarity. You begin to see life as it is, not as you think it should be. You begin to respond instead of react. You begin to notice how even the challenges hold hidden gifts, opportunities to grow, to awaken, to love more deeply. Every moment becomes an invitation to trust the unfolding rather than resist it. This is the paradox of surrender. When you let go of control, you don't lose direction. You find it. You become aligned with the natural rhythm of the universe, which is always moving toward harmony, balance, and growth. The same intelligence that makes the stars shine and the tides rise also beats your heart and guides your journey. You don't have to force life to happen. You only need to allow it. As you breathe, notice the stillness beneath all movement. Feel how even as thoughts come and go, there is a silent awareness that never changes. That awareness is your true self. Vast, calm, and free. It does not need to control anything because it already is everything. In this awareness, let go completely. Let go of expectations, of worries, of timelines. Let go of needing to know what comes next. Just breathe and trust. The universe has been unfolding perfectly long before you tried to manage it, and it will continue to unfold perfectly even now. There is a profound freedom in surrender. When you no longer carry the burden of control, your heart opens. Peace returns. Life begins to flow again, effortlessly, beautifully, in divine rhythm. And in that flow, you discover the truth you've been searching for. You were never meant to control life. You were meant to trust it. Close your eyes and take a slow, gentle breath in. Feel it enter your body like a wave of calm energy, filling every space within you. As you exhale, imagine releasing everything that has kept you from this moment. The thoughts about yesterday, the worries about tomorrow, the endless stories the mind loves to tell. Just breathe. Just be here. There is nowhere else to go, nothing to fix, nothing to change. The present moment is enough. When we learn to embrace the present moment, we begin to discover the essence of peace. The mind constantly pulls us in two directions, backward into the past or forward into the future. It replays what was and rehearses what might be. And yet, the only place life truly exists is now. The breath you are taking at this very moment, that is life. The sound around you, the beating of your heart, the subtle rise and fall of your body, that is the universe expressing itself through you. But to live here, in the now, requires courage. The mind finds comfort in stories, it clings to the past because it is known, and it rushes into the future because it wants control. Yet, the present moment holds neither memory nor plan, it simply is. That simplicity feels foreign to the restless mind, but it is where the soul feels at home. Let yourself feel the weight you've been carrying, the thoughts of what should have been, the regrets, the guilt, the longing to rewrite something that has already passed. Then, let them fall away like leaves from a tree. The past no longer exists except as memory. It has already served its purpose. It brought you wisdom, experience, and understanding. To keep revisiting it only keeps you bound to a shadow. When you release it, you open space for light. And now, think of the future, the endless possibilities, the hopes, the fears. Notice how the mind loves to chase what's next. It plans, predicts, and prepares. It tells you that peace will come later. After you have achieved something, after things are certain, after life finally aligns with your expectations. But peace never lives there. It has never lived in someday. It has always lived here, in this breath, in this heartbeat, in this moment. As you breathe now, notice the simple miracle of existence. You are alive. You are breathing. The world is moving quietly around you. The mind might still wander. That's its nature. But you can always return, again and again, to this moment. The present is your anchor, your refuge, your home. When you are present, even the smallest things begin to glow with meaning. The warmth of sunlight on your skin, the sound of wind through the trees, the stillness of early morning, all become sacred. Presence transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. It reconnects you to the simple truth that you are a part of this vast, breathing universe, not separate from it, not lost within it, but one with it. There is incredible healing in this awareness. When you live in the present, anxiety fades because anxiety lives in the future. Regret disappears because regret belongs to the past. What remains is clarity. What remains is peace. What remains is the pure experience of being alive, without judgment or expectation. So much of human struggle comes from resisting the moment, wanting it to be different than it is. But what if, just for now, you allowed everything to be exactly as it is? The sensations, the sounds, the emotions, even the thoughts. You do not need to fix or change them. You only need to witness them. That witnessing, that simple awareness, is meditation. When you practice this presence, life starts to unfold more gracefully. You begin to realize that nothing is missing. Everything is as it should be. The universe has its own timing, its own rhythm, and when you are fully here, you begin to feel that rhythm guiding you. You stop rushing against the current and start moving with it. Every moment, no matter how simple or complex, is an invitation to awaken. When you are washing your hands, breathe and feel the water. When you are walking, listen to the sound of your steps. When you are speaking, listen not just to your words, but to the space between them. That space, that silence, is where peace resides. The more you live in the present, the more you begin to see that nothing is truly lacking. The mind may still tell its stories, but the heart knows the truth that this moment, just as it is whole. You do not need to chase happiness. Happiness arises naturally when you are here. You do not need to seek fulfillment. Fulfillment blooms when you stop searching. Take another slow breath and feel how alive this moment is. Feel how everything you need already exists within it. There is no separation between you and the present. You are the present. Life is not something happening to you, it is happening through you. When you begin to live this way, something miraculous happens. The past loses its power to define you, and the future loses its power to frighten you. You realize that peace, clarity, and freedom were never destinations. They were the essence of your being all along. So breathe and return home to now. This moment is your teacher. This moment is your truth. This moment is your peace. Take a gentle breath in, and as you exhale, feel the soft release that comes with surrender. Notice how every exhalation is an act of letting go. You cannot hold the breath. You must release it for life to continue flowing. And in that simple act, you can feel the wisdom of the universe teaching you something profound. That surrender is not a loss of control, but the way life moves freely through you. The mind often misunderstands surrender. It sees it as defeat, as giving up, as weakness. But true surrender is not about giving up your power. It's about giving up your struggle. It's about letting go of the illusion that you must carry the entire weight of the world on your shoulders. When you surrender, you align yourself with a greater intelligence that already knows what is right for you. You stop fighting against the flow of life, and you begin to move with it, gracefully, effortlessly, harmoniously. As you sit here now, notice how often your mind tries to control what it doesn't understand. It wants to fix, to manage, to predict. It creates tension because it believes that peace will come only when things go its way. But peace doesn't come from control. It comes from trust. Surrender is the bridge between struggle and trust. It is the moment you release resistance and allow life to unfold as it's meant to. Take another breath. Feel how the body relaxes when you stop trying to force anything. In that relaxation, something opens. A space of calm, of acceptance. Surrender is not an act of passivity. It is an act of deep wisdom. It's the recognition that there is a rhythm to existence far beyond the reach of the thinking mind. The sun rises and sets without your command. The tides move in perfect timing. Flowers bloom in silence and hearts heal in stillness. You are part of this same rhythm. When you surrender, you remember your place within it. Sometimes life will guide you through seasons you do not understand. You may lose something you thought you needed. You may be asked to wait longer than you planned. You may be guided down a path that seems uncertain. The mind will resist, it will question, it will fight. But beneath that resistance lies a deeper truth, that every detour, every delay, every ending is leading you closer to alignment. The universe never takes without giving. It never closes a door without preparing another to open. Surrender allows you to see this, to trust that life's unfolding is not random, but purposeful. Think of the river. It does not resist the rocks in its path, it flows around them. It does not stop at the bends, it curves gracefully. It does not demand that the ocean come sooner, it simply keeps moving. And yet, it always reaches its destination. Surrender is that same flow within you. When you let go of resistance, life carries you forward. Not through force, but through faith. Feel into your heart now. This is where surrender truly lives. The heart does not analyze, it knows. It understands that sometimes letting go is the most courageous thing you can do. It knows that holding on to what no longer serves you blocks the flow of what's meant for you. When you surrender through the heart, You create space for new beginnings. You make room for grace to enter. The beauty of surrender is that it transforms struggle into serenity. It allows you to stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this teaching me?" That simple shift opens the door to wisdom. Suddenly, life stops being something that happens to you and becomes something that happens that is for you. As you continue breathing, feel the release deepening. Imagine placing all your worries, all your fears, all your unanswered questions into the hands of the universe. You don't have to carry them anymore. You don't have to force the answers to come. In surrender, you trust that the answers will reveal themselves when the time is right. You learn that the space between what you want and what you receive is sacred. It's where your soul grows. There is profound peace in this way of living. When you no longer cling to control, you begin to feel supported by life itself. You start noticing synchronicities, signs, moments, alignments that reassure you're being guided. Life starts to feel lighter, softer. You begin to flow, not because everything is perfect, but because you are no longer resisting what is. Surrender is the art of remembering that you are part of something vast, something intelligent, something benevolent. It's not an act of weakness, but the highest form of strength. To trust even when you don't understand, to open your heart even when it hurts, to let go when the mind wants to hold on. That is true power. So now breathe deeply and silently repeat, "I surrender to the wisdom of life. I trust the unfolding of my journey. I am guided, I am safe, I am free." Feel the truth of these words as they vibrate through your being. As you rest in this awareness, know that surrender is not something you do once, it's something you live. Each moment invites you to release, to trust, to flow. And every time you do, you return closer to your natural state of peace, a peace that was never lost, only hidden beneath the weight of control. Let it all go now, the need to understand, the desire to fix the illusion of control. Breathe, soften, trust. The universe is already carrying you exactly where you need to be. As you settle deeper into stillness, bring your attention to the center of your being, that quiet space within your heart, where peace is not something you search for, but something you already are. In this space, there is no noise from the world, no judgments, no fears, only presence, only truth. It is here that the wisdom of the universe speaks, softly yet clearly, guiding you beyond the mind's noise. To listen, you must first learn to be still. The mind is a restless instrument. It constantly seeks answers, solutions, explanations. It wants to know what's next, to predict, to control. But the language of the universe is silence. It doesn't speak in words. It speaks in feelings, in intuitions, in subtle signs and synchronicities that can only be heard when you quiet the noise within. Stillness is the bridge that connects your awareness to that infinite wisdom. When you are still, you are receptive. You open yourself to the invisible field of intelligence that is always present, always guiding you, always responding to your energy. Imagine for a moment a lake on a windy day. The surface is choppy, disturbed, chaotic. Try to look at your reflection and you will see nothing clear. But when the wind calms, when the water becomes still, the reflection returns perfectly. That's the nature of your mind. When it's filled with anxiety, overthinking, and doubt, it cannot reflect the truth of your being. But when it becomes still, clarity emerges effortlessly. You don't have to search for guidance. It reveals itself naturally. As you breathe in, feel your body soften. With every exhale, imagine releasing the layers of tension, thought, and resistance. In stillness, you begin to notice the subtle, the soft pulse of energy that lives in your body, the rhythm of your breath, the quiet intelligence within your heart. This is the same intelligence that keeps your heart beating, that grows the trees, that moves the stars. It is the same energy that has always been guiding you. You do not have to find it. You only need to quiet down enough to remember it. When you allow yourself to rest in silence, something miraculous happens. Your intuition awakens. It does not shout. It whispers. It comes as a gentle nudge, a sense of knowing, a feeling that says, "This is right for me." You may not always understand where it's leading you, but deep down you trust its direction. The more you honor that voice, the louder it becomes. The more you ignore it, the quieter it grows. Stillness nourishes intuition. It allows the wisdom of your higher self to rise above the chatter of the mind. In stillness, you also begin to see how everything is interconnected. Every thought, every feeling, every action ripples through the field of consciousness that binds all life. You are not separate from the universe. You are an expression of it. When you pause and listen, you realize that the guidance you've been seeking from outside has always been within you. The universe doesn't give you answers from beyond, it awakens them through you. Let this awareness deepen with every breath. Allow your heart to open wider. Feel the space around you expand. You may begin to sense an energy, calm, gentle, yet powerful, surrounding you. This is the presence of the universe meeting you in silence. It has always been there, patiently waiting for you to slow down enough to hear it. When life feels uncertain, the mind becomes restless, searching for stability. But true stability comes from stillness. It comes from trusting that even in the absence of answers, you are guided. That silence is not emptiness. It is fullness. It holds everything you need to know, waiting for you to receive it. When you stop forcing and start listening, the path unfolds with grace. Sometimes, guidance doesn't come as words or images. It comes as peace. A quiet assurance that says, you're okay, you're exactly where you need to be. That peace is the language of the soul. It's how the universe communicates alignment. When you feel it, even for a moment, you are in harmony with the flow of life. Allow yourself to rest in that peace now. There's nothing to figure out, nothing to fix. Just breathe and feel the rhythm of your existence synchronizing with the rhythm of the universe. In this harmony, everything you need to know will reveal itself at the perfect time. This is the gift of stillness. It returns you to the truth that you are never alone, never lost, never without guidance. Every answer, every solution, every next step is already waiting within you. And when you learn to trust the silence, when you allow yourself to simply be, life begins to move through you with ease, purpose, and grace. Breathe into that truth now. You are safe to pause, safe to listen, safe to trust. In stillness, you don't lose yourself, you meet yourself. And in that meeting, you discover that the voice of the universe has always been whispering, softly, patiently, lovingly, waiting for you to remember how to hear it.